Lego.
It's Too T3rpd.
Okay. Question number 1. You freestyle? Oh,
Me llamo
shit.
Rebecca, soy mexicana. A mí me gusta fumar marihuana. San Luis, Missouri es mi ciudad. A veces aquí falta humildad. Red Fox y Nelly son de donde yo soy, pero quédate aquí que yo ya me voy. Is that the first time someone's done it in Spanish?
That was fucking fire, yo. Holy shit. Hold on. Before we even I don't even want to stop the... Because that's the only way we can end that. Yo, hold on. That was fire, yo. You came hella prepared.
I did.
Oh, shit.
I was like, I cannot look dumb.
I saw that. She was like, I'm ready. Put me in.
Put me in, coach. Put me in.
That was hard, yo. That was fucking dope. All right, so y'all already know this is about to be a litty episode. Because y'all already know it's a Too T3rpd podcast. It's your boy Donovan, a.k.a. Mr. You knew what it was when you signed up.
And you got behind the screen, me llamo T3rpd.
Ooh.
Try to keep it up.
Ooh.
Muy
Started
bien.
Duolingo like 2
Muy
weeks
bien.
ago.
Muy
That's
bien.
the only-
I like that.
What's your score on Duolingo?
I am afraid to look. In my defense, I had the plague for a week, so
That's fair.
I just been yelled at by a bird.
That's fair enough. But y'all already know us. Also, Tyler Farquaad make the lady say, "Oh my God!" I saw that swoop right there. He's like, "Yeah, you know what time it is." One of these days, we got to check back in with TG so she could give you your other new nickname. I forgot what it was supposed to be.
I forgot what it is, too. I still have her playlist on Spotify ready for her, though.
Oh, yeah, we got to get in contact with her soon, though. We got to hit her up.
We do. There's a lot we have to catch up on, so she can make fun of me for another hour and a half.
FitX. But y'all already know what time it is. We got a special guest in the building. We've been communicating back and forth for a couple months now. We've been trying to make this work for a minute now. We finally got it. But I feel like this is all in due time. I feel like, we're about to start creating some amazing stuff together.
I think so too.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's been in the industry for a minute now. Matter of fact, about 10 years?
Like 11.
11?
12, yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a second.
That's right. She's been through radio, now currently podcasting. Give it up for the current host of the Too T3rpd Bruja podcast. Too T3rpd.
You got it. You got
Tortilla.
it. Tortilla Bruja. Yeah.
Too T3rpd Bruja. Too T3rpd. I've been working on this all day.
Aw. Spanish is hard. It's okay. Like sometimes I'm speaking in Spanish and I'm like, I still don't know.
Is this a safe space?
Yeah.
I literally failed Spanish class in
Did
high
you?
school.
It's okay. I only took it as my minor in college because I was already so far ahead and I was like, yes. Handy.
I want to learn so bad because when I be going to Mexico and stuff, I feel like ignorant as fuck. It's like,
You need to be like submerged in the language because then you have no choice.
Yeah.
You have to, so we'll just drop you off in a random city in Mexico and just be like, all right, we're going to be here. Figure it out.
I'm almost not opposed to it, honestly. That'd be kind
We'll
of
try
lit.
it. Okay. It'll be like little scavenger hunt or something. It'll be fun.
Hell yeah. Okay. Also, Bex. Do we say your full name or just Bex?
I said my government name in the rap, but Bex Carlos, yeah.
Hell yeah. Give it up for Bex Carlos.
Thank you.
You already know that live studio. Wow.
Can
Didn't see that.
I just say that, like, I've been on a bajillion podcasts, but this is the first one I've been on in the St. Louis area. So thank you for acknowledging my work and my talent.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, guys.
We're not doing it live.
Cat's out the bag.
Whoops.
Oh, man. This is dope, yo. Really?
So for those of you, you're not in on it, because I was so glad to be here, I made a whole infused menu from the cocktail, appetizers, and then, oh snaps, I forgot the cookies. We'll have to get those later.
We definitely got to get those for dessert.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you for having me. Honestly, I've been listening to your show for a while, and I'm a big believer in divine timing and things happen when they're supposed to happen. So I think it was kind of meant to be that it took a while. Like I was in Mexico for a bit and then I came back and now I'm leaving again. So it's like in the time in between we made this happen and I'm really excited. And we met the other day in person and that was really rad. First of all, I love that you are someone who like you sit down and then like 30 people flock to you. Like love that for you.
Thank you. It's not always like that, but you know, it just happened to be, you caught me at the right time.
Yeah.
It made me look cool. Shout out to the Mashup crew for making me look good. That's all that really was at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, you looked really cool. I was like, wow. I was like, I feel like I would have the opposite effect. I'd walk in and like 30 people would walk in. Yikes.
I just started showing up so much that you realize I can't avoid me anymore. So it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, all right, just let them in.
Yeah. Well, you know, you weaseled your way into their hearts.
There you go. See? Hey. As long as I'm in their hearts, that's all that matters.
True.
So how you been today?
It's been a long day, but I'm excited. It's the biggest party day of the year. Are you doing anything, or are you chilling in at home after?
Might be going to hang with some homies after.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah,
I don't know. You might be having me on my ass.
I hope not. I try. I truly did try to make everything as low. I was like, because we're gonna chat, we're gonna talk about whatever you want to talk about. Just see where the conversation flows. But I was like, let's have some snacks. The best way to I feel make friends is like over a meal.
Facts.
Yeah.
Honestly, this is fire, yo. This might be like the first one that's kind of like this, where we about to smoke, just chill, eat. We haven't really done it like that. Usually,
Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah, for real though.
We don't celebrate genocide, but yes, we are all about friendship.
Friendsgiving. Friendsgiving. Actually, this is litty as fuck, yo. This is the ultimate Friendsgiving. That might have to be the episode.
I like that.
Episode title.
Yeah.
Something with Friendsgiving.
I agree.
This is a Weedsgiving. Fuck that.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
Weedsgiving.
Thanksgiving.
It's funny because there was I think a Riverfront Times article about how we call it Skanksgiving because everybody comes back and you're more likely to hook up with your childhood crush than in any other city.
Oh, I just thought it's because you just hook up that night.
Well, that too, but that too. But it's you're more likely to run into that crush or something that you were in love with once upon a time because everyone comes back,
That's
to hang out with their families and whatnot.
True.
Yeah.
So, now that we're on this, let's have some fun. I like this. Okay, so what was your favorite Skanksgiving moment?
Okay, so I used to work on Main Street.
Oh, shit.
And when you work at a bar, I feel like that makes it even better because you get to hang out after hours. So one year we were all hanging out, the owner's there, we're all drunk as fuck. I'm riding a bike in this bar for whatever reason with a skirt on, so I'm side saddling it. And so for a while it was fine until it fell over.
Oh, wait, what bar?
It's gone now. RT Weiler's, R.I.P. It was the dog bar.
Oh.
They used to, do you know, what I'm talking about? Yeah, they used to have a drink that they were famous for called the crack pipe.
How close was that to Bobby's?
Not far. So it's you walk down, there was a little bit of an alley, if you will.
Yeah.
Q was on the other side. I think Bobby's was on the other side of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you guys were on the other side of that?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, I have been there then.
Mm-hmm.
I had definitely been there. Hell no. That's lit.
Yeah, I worked there. It's funny because when I started my career in St. Louis radio, I was working 3 jobs because that's the cross I have to bear. I always have to juggle a million jobs. So I was working at the Point, I was working as a dog walker, and I was working at that restaurant. And I was like, oh, I have no time for myself. Isn't it wild the things you do when you're trying to build something?
Yes.
It's wild. You really are just running on adrenaline.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fact. But you started in media before the Point, didn't you?
Yeah. So it's funny because I knew I wanted to go, first it was psychology, but then I was like, well, I mean, isn't media a way of
Actually, I kind of want to go even before that.
Yeah, okay.
Because I feel like I was listening to your podcast earlier, and I wanted to ask you, was this also a form of inspiration? You said you also had a neighbor who used to be a radio host.
Raina Ray.
Really?
She just moved, and I'm really bummed about that. But yeah, I didn't know for the longest time that she was on radio, but we got some of the perks. I know you just listened to the episode. I got to see the Spice Girls when I was 8. because she just magically had tickets, and that was cool because I feel like I brought that to fruition. I loved the Spice Girls. Like, I watched the Spice Girls movie every day after school for like, I don't know, at least a year. Like, I don't know. To this day, like, there's certain songs that just like I really love too. I don't know. Maybe I'm just perpetually 8 years old. Maybe we all are.
That's like a great age.
Yeah.
I feel like life definitely started for me at 8.
Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking about my life in a way that I haven't in a long time, and 8 is like really when things started to pop off. What do you think?
Oh, we're loaded.
It's good.
Well, we're all trying it.
It's good.
The
Like-
sexy red hummus.
It's like buffalo dip.
Yeah. Palestine has been heavy on my mind, and hummus is something that's eaten there all the time. So, you know, sometimes food connects people, I'm telling you.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so Raina Ray was my neighbor. She's a really cool lady. I don't know if I was like inspired from that. Honestly, I think for me, I just really loved music. My dad was in a band called Grupo Sacrificio. And because of that, like, he was always singing, and there was just like music in my house all the time. So I feel like very early on, I was like, I love music. Like, if you were to ask me in your lifetime, what was the best year of music? It's like 2003. That's when the indie rock revival like scene was like really revving up, and there's just so much great music being made. And I think around that time, I was just like, I want to put good stuff on the radio. Like, I'm so sick of hearing the same pop star. Even early on in my life, I was like, why does everyone play the same stuff over and over? And it's funny because I didn't find out until I went to college. There's this law called the, oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, I'm blanking on it right now. The Telecommunications Law of 96. So basically what that did is it removed the parameters in which you could like own how many ever radio stations. So that's why they all play the same stuff now.
Really?
Because they're all owned by like 3 or 4 different like media conglomerates. Like here we have 2, we have Audacity, and we have Intercom. Oh, and we have Hubbard, so I guess we have 3. So yeah, all of the radio stations are owned pretty much by those 3 companies.
No, those subsidiaries of iHeart, or
I think iHeart might be Intercom now.
okay.
I don't know. Honestly, like I have a hard time keeping up because when I worked at the Point, it was MS, but then now it's owned by Hubbard. Which it's funny. I used to work at 106.5 The Arch too, so I worked there before like the whatchamacallit, whatever, when it was like bought out. So I was just like, my world is combining. I don't know. Do you ever feel like there's different parts of your life that like combine? Because I felt like that when I went off to college. I was like, when all my college friends met my like home friends, and I was like, oh my God, what's happening?
How did that work?
It was weird, right? Because it was typically like I would bring a friend to a party with all of my college friends. So that's how they would sort of get into the circle, and then everyone would start being friends with everyone. And I was like, sometimes this is nice, but sometimes it's not nice. Like, you like having your separate friends, you know?
I feel like sometimes it's hard to mix groups because like they don't necessarily, you hang out with this group for this reason, you hang out with that group for this reason, and once you get them together, you kind of realize, oh, maybe that is why I do this. Start bringing them together, like, I see why I keep y'all separate.
What about when they hang out without you and you're just like, damn.
That
Imagine
betrayal beyond measures. That's
Damn.
Betrayal. Yeah,
Damn, okay.
stab in the back.
I gotta remember that. Gotta remember that. I don't know. I think that's kind of lit. It's like, oh, look. Made some connections, but I remember that now. Never hang out with anybody that T introduces me to.
He's going to take it to, like, the heart.
He's gonna just show up. So, what's up, guys?
Just show up.
Get your location on.
On Snapchat. Just saw you were hanging out. No big deal.
Then I just looked at your friend over here, and it's so crazy. You guys just happen to be in the same place. How's that work?
Must have missed that text.
That group text. What? Oh man, got started without me. Hell yeah. You already know. All right. Now I kind of want to try toasted rav.
Do it. The marinara is right there.
I just don't do tomato stuff, but I'm gonna do it for you.
Do it, because that's the infused part.
I was like, I already knew. I had a feeling.
I couldn't find a syringe to, like, put it in the middle, because that was my thought. Like, put the oil in the middle of the toasted rav. They're fried with red hot riplets all around it.
The riplets are infused as well?
The riplets are not infused.
Oh, they're not?
No. Because if they were, well, I should have, I don't know, I have this like little sprayer I could have used. This was all like put together in the last like 48 hours, so hopefully you enjoy it.
It's fire. It's hella fire.
I'm really impressed with how the cocktail came out. Because it's I called it a STL Paloma. So there's vodka and tequila in there, which is funny because I used to work at this restaurant that's how they made their margaritas, because the vodka would help cover the taste of the tequila so it would go down smoother. Mm-hmm. So I stole that trick from him. And then I put a little bit of red hot riplet seasoning instead of salt in it.
It tastes good.
Yeah.
It's got that little twang to it. I like it.
Yeah, something different.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the media.
Okay.
All right. So I want to start from the earliest of origins and then work our way up to current time.
Yeah, so I knew I kind of, first my sets on like school and stuff, I was like, oh, I'm going to go into psychology. I took a year, because I went to SEMO, so I took a year off and came back home. And the first station that I was on was KCFE, which is the community college, St. Louis Community College, shout out. I was on there for a year, but I didn't have a whole lot of freedom on there because I was like a co-host on someone else's show. Mm-hmm. We called it Benny and the Becks. Really? Yeah. And so I was on that for a year, and then I went back to SEMO, and I was on Rage 103.7, which was like our student-run station. That was cool. I love the freedom of college radio. At both stations, we got to play like so much more diverse music, and that was awesome. So after that, I worked at Mix 96.3 in Cape Girardeau for about 3 years. After that, I worked at 105.7 Point for about 2.5. And then I worked at the Arch for about 1.5. And then around my time when I was like done with the Arch, I was like, I think I want something different. Like, I don't know. It's interesting because I kind of joke that I manifested being removed from the Point because like I was let go, which happened a lot. Like, I know it wasn't anything necessarily personal because budget cuts and like people get cut. But the thing that I have like a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth about it is that it happened in a phone call.
Oh yeah, that's dirty.
It happened in a phone call, and I was at like the best place for it to happen. I was at my psychiatrist's office, and it was the first time I'd ever been fired from a job. So like I handled the call, and I'm just like off, and I'm like everyone's just seeing this girl cry, and I'm just thinking to myself like, if I ever write a book, like the story's gonna be in there because it's just so funny, like it's like of course I was in my psychiatric, like. This is, like, I couldn't make this up, even if I tried. But I don't know. I loved my time in radio. The Point especially, like, I feel like that was the type of music that I really enjoyed, And so I got to go to so many concerts. I think my friend and I counted it once. It was, like, 40 concerts in the span of, like, 2.5 years.
Damn.
Yeah, it was a lot. And there were a lot where we would just stay for, like, 1 or 2 songs because we had, like, a little private section to be in. So it was, like, you came in, you had a designated spot. You're like, all right, I'm going to peace out. And then we left.
Did you ever get to interview anybody?
No, I actually, I take it back. There's 2 things that I'm sad about because one time there was a band that was supposed to come in for an interview and instead of me doing it, because I guess they didn't feel comfortable with me doing it, which I was like, okay, I understand. But I had to sit in the hallway while it happened. Like I wasn't even invited in. And I feel like, honestly, that's sort of a metaphor for what my time at the Point, but just like in radio kind of is like I was never really let into the rooms where the things happened, right? Gotcha. I am very grateful for when I was at the Point. We came up with like a video series called WTF.
I was going to mention that.
Did you watch some? Yeah. What'd you think?
They were interesting. So I watched the Van Gogh, the donut eating contest.
Yeah. I
watched the one where y'all did like the Olympics.
Oh yeah, like the little playground games. Yeah. Yep.
And then I saw all of them. And there was an escape room one. Yeah.
That one I really liked. And then the first one we did was the candy one. And that one happened
yeah, that weird push pop thing.
Yeah. First of all, those are delicious. That Mexican candy. Like she was like, that's so gross. Yeah. I'm like, that's hella racist, first of all,
Too spicy for?
Probably. But Yeah, it's funny, that sort of inspiration for that series came from like, that was around the time that BuzzFeed really started like doing stuff, so I was like, well, why don't we do that here? There's a bunch of cute girls at all these different stations. This is the first time there's been this many women at all these stations. Like, this is great. And I don't know, it's kind of funny because like at the time, not everyone like saw the appeal of it. Mm-hmm. But one of the most satisfying things afterwards, people were like, yeah, it actually is bringing a lot of traffic to the website. I'm like, excuse me, I couldn't hear you. What, could you repeat that? And they were like, it's like, yeah, who doesn't want to watch cute girls doing things? Yeah. Like, yeah, so that was an interesting time. It's funny, I didn't get to go to Point Fest because the year that I was there, I was in Ireland. Oh. So I was like, like, hang out in Ireland, Point Fest. I'm like, it's hard, yeah. But I'm we were there in Ireland when like the gay marriage referendum passed. So it was just this electrifying feelings in the air. So I was like, I think that I'm better having that memory. So, it is what it is. Life plays out the way it's supposed to play out.
Hell yeah. For sure. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now we can go to present time now.
Okay.
Oh wait, actually no. I want to ask a couple more questions. So, when you were in radio, what was your radio style?
So I always liked to give the energy of kind of. Have you seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World?
Yes.
Okay, so I was a Julie because I feel like that was my real life energy. The bitch has too many jobs. She's kind of bitchy, has opinions on everything. So I would always talk about like pop culture things and things that were relevant to me and music. It was cool. I got to host like New Music Sunday a couple of times. So that was like something I really enjoyed because I got to play bands that I really liked that weren't on there, So La Butcherettes, I got to meet later on, but like before I got to meet them, I got to play them on the point, and that was like really cool.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what's up. Mm-hmm. Are there any other memorable moments that you said that you had in radio?
I got to meet a lot of famous people. That was cool. I got to meet Meg Myers, and that was like the first concert that I got to go to, so that was cool. I think honestly that feeling of like being the like ticket plug was really cool, where your friends would be like, "Can I get tickets to the show?" And I'm like, "Let me see what I can do," And so that was fun. I don't know. There was I got to announce a band on stage. That was cool. There was a lot more things I would have liked to do. Like I would have loved to interview someone, but like I'm someone who, if I want to do something, I'm going to figure out a way to do it. So I've since gotten to interview like quite a few bands, like just with my podcast. I got to interview La Butcherettes and I got to interview Slothrust, and I'm still like trying to see if weaseling my way into letting someone else like interview somebody. But I don't know. I look back on my time in radio with like very bittersweet, like I didn't understand the game, right? Like, and I think that like I wish sometimes I could go back and like understand how to play the game, but I don't know. I have a hard time, like, I don't know. I communicate, right? And so I feel like I would say things and people would be like, well, you don't say that. Or my problem has always been like, maybe I don't know my place. But at the same time, I feel like when you settle for being in a specific place, you don't grow, you don't challenge, you don't, so like maybe that doesn't work for everybody, but like, I don't know, it's worked for me. Like I'm still doing a lot of cool things, and one thing I want to circle back to, because you kind of asked about the audio stuff, podcasting was something that sort of fell in my lap. Like I had started a podcast and I went to school for broadcasting and I was just good at it. And so there was this group that started, and it was called Women of Color Podcasting. Shout out to Danielle Desiree.
Shout out.
And I could be pronouncing it wrong. If I am, I'm sorry. But she started this group because in 2018, there was this group, right, that started because Spotify had been like, we are noticing that we don't have a lot of people of color or marginalized people creating content, and we want to change that. So they had 18 spots, and they had like thousands of people apply. And so all these people were like, well, maybe we should just like network and meet and talk to each other. So that's what happened. So I found this group, and I was actually going to Europe, and it kind of just fell in my lap at this perfect time because I was like, I need to make money because I'm going to Europe, And so I was on trains, I was on planes, I was on automobiles, and I was like editing podcasts. Like it's funny, I kind of think had a falling out with a friend because of that, because I was so work focused, and he was like, I'm trying to like be wild in Europe, and I'm like, I get that, but I don't know when these opportunities are gonna come again, So one of my like things that was the best is like, so I spent all day editing a podcast, took a nap, and then we went to a festival, and I had to literally run up a mountain to see Childish Gambino.
Whoa.
Like, oh my God, that's a story for another day because it's a whole ordeal. But like, we caught the last 4 songs of his set, and I was like, they were the ones that I would have wanted to see. So I was like, oh my God, now I have this story that I ran up a mountain to see Childish Gambino. And it was like the year that This Is America came out.
Okay.
So I was just like, oh my God, life is so good.
He's one of my favorite artists.
Mine too.
I feel like I say because of the internet, it's probably my favorite album by him.
Okay, so I like Camp, and I know he'll never perform that one live. But I would
Never
say...
know. That'd be an
right.
amazing throwback concert.
I know. And it's funny because he said that he's like so much past it now, and I get it. You know, like sometimes you don't want to look at your previous work and like say that like, oh, I'm the same person. But yeah, because the internet is great. I think that right now that's my favorite. Sweatpants, I feel, is like my favorite one on that album. Yeah, it's a repeat.
I just like the whole thing. Like I got the vinyl, so I got the screenplay and all that.
Okay. That is one of those that's really good to like listen the whole way through, because some albums you're just like, yeah, was there even any thought into like the pattern of like all the music, and then there, you know, some of them it's just like specific singles that like really like that's all it really is. But I don't know. I think we live in a time where there's a lot of cool music that's being made, but I almost feel like we need like a pop of something. Like, I don't know. Do you feel like people are making diverse music? Because maybe it's just me getting old, but like, yeah, it just a lot of it sounds the same.
I think it is us getting old. We're at that age now where like all the songs that we grew up on, people are just remixing now.
Yeah. There is a study that around like 32, 33, you start to fall off because you get, you know, you have other things going on in your life. So you're not as into music, or you don't have the time.
I just don't be checking out the new, like I don't check out new artists as much anymore, but I also feel like that's because they're not for me. Like a lot of the stuff that they're talking about is kind of like not with that no more, or it's just like like the subject matter just isn't there for me. So it's just kind of like, you know, I'll let them do their thing. I'll keep listening to my old heads, who's what they be considered now. Like,
My new married artist.
Whoa. We won't go that far. I ain't no Chance the Rapper fan. But
I met him once.
Really?
Yeah, there's a photo of us together. Funny story. He like put his arm around my friend because of course she's the one who I told you who used to live here, but he put his arm around my friend and dropped his elbow and it fell into my cleavage, and I was just we had this awkward moment where we looked at each other and we were just like, what just happened? And he's just like, anyway.
Chance was taking a chance.
He was getting risky.
That's hilarious, yo. Mm-hmm. I went to the coloring book concert when it was here.
Okay. I think that was the show before we got to go to. So I went with my friend, and it was like we got to take like a radio photo, so all the different people who were in radio and they're like plus ones. It's a rad photo. Yeah, I'll show you after.
That's pretty clutch. See, that would I never got to do. Well, I did like public radio the other week. Shout out to Ace.
Yeah,
I did that the other week, but other than that, I've never done radio. Like this is the closest thing I've ever gotten to like.
You know what? You have more freedom here. You know, because that's the thing where I feel like I can't go back, because I'm like, I love being able to talk about whatever the fuck I want whenever I want. I cried in my last podcast episode, which I'm like, I feel like if someone was crying on radio, it'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with this unhinged woman? I feel like people still say that about my podcast, but even still in like, you know, like live radio, it'd be more unexpected, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's one of the things, like when Lux came up here, she was talking about how you have more freedom doing podcasts and it's not as restricted. That was one of the reasons why she went ahead and retired from radio.
Yeah. You know, I have a lot of respect for her. She made a whole career in her hometown, which I feel like is the dream for most of us, you know, but not all of us get that opportunity. But I don't know. It's I'm grateful that I was able to be on the airwaves in my hometown, but I don't know. I'm circling back to this because I said that I feel like I manifested. Like, because I remember before I left having this moment, this thought, like when I was on a shift, and I was like, you know, I'm not going to do this forever. I don't think I could, because I am a very creative person, and I just kind of knew that like I wasn't going to be able to explore all of my creativity there. I mean, shit, this whole menu is inspired by St. Louis. You know what I mean? Like, that's just when I commit to something and I'm bored, I'm just like, this is my focus project, you know, right now.
As soon as I saw Sexy Red Hummus, you got me. Shout out Big Sexy.
Oh my gosh, I love her. She makes music for Ratchet Awesome Girls.
She's so lit, man.
Yeah.
She makes music for ratchet people in general.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. She close to my heart, man.
Are you
lit.
secretly ratchet?
Ain't no secret about it. Ain't no secret about it.
We love the honesty.
Oh man. I just, like to have a good time. But hell yeah. So what inspired you to do the infused cooking?
Okay, so I love cannabis, and I did a season of my podcast that was all inspired by cannabis. And the reason for that was because I wasn't a big, I want to cook things that taste good where we don't taste the weed, right? That was a big thing for me. So for a while, I worked at Pichoni Pastry, RIP, and the Sweet Divine. And so I just worked in places where there was a lot of young people cooking things and baking things, and they just tasted so good. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, why are we so okay with edibles tasting bad just because there's weed in them? So I got Olivo oil. I was like, listen, because if there's anything I'm good at is getting people to give me free things. But I'd been to the people at Olivo oil, hey, you should give me a machine and I'll give you a recipe of whatever you want and I'll send it to you and you can have it. And they were like, okay, we want a Goldschlager gummy recipe. I'm like, done. So I played around with it. And so I got that Levo and I just started infusing everything. It got to a point where my parents were like, is this regular food or is this infused food? I'm like, it's infused. But yeah, so I got really, really into infusions and I did a whole season of my podcast just based on cannabis. And yeah, I was going to come on here and I'd shown you that menu that I made a while back ago. And I was like, you know what? I want to redo that. I want to make a whole infused menu based on St. Louis things.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So you inspired me.
Go me.
Go you.
You mind if we take a quick pause break?
No, for sure.
Okay. And we bake. Had to take a quick break real quick. Shout out Mad World, dropping off them holiday pies real quick.
She's the cutest. I love her.
She's the best, yo. All right, so now, before we get started, we got to shout out Papa T. Papa T, you already know, T-Break T's father. He dropped us off with a nice little gift today. Love it. Hell yeah. Nice little holiday gift card. The best one I've ever gotten in my life, honestly.
It's a solid card.
Hell yeah. Got this shit. This is from the first harvest, isn't it?
It looks like a Christmas tree.
Hell yeah.
It's definitely the trim job of a almost 70-year-old man.
This is about to be lit, yo. I'm so hyped.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I feel like one of my favorite things is people who are elderly who have discovered cannabis. I used to work at a head shop and I had a gentleman come in who would use a one hitter or whatever. And he was like, why would I use a water pipe or why would I use a bong? And I was like, sir, it's going to get you where you need to get way faster.
That's right. You got to do all that rolling. You just put a little water in there and then get zooted.
I also feel like bongs are dope because it's I'm a canna witch, so it's the embodiment of all the elements. You have water, you have earth, you have fire, you have air.
Hell yeah.
You have you, which is magic.
Now let's get into that.
Yeah.
What is a canna witch?
So I use cannabis as a way of putting intention into the world, healing myself. There's so much ritual involved with the process of smoking cannabis. And it's sometimes people get very they don't think about how you could do specific things to bring more attention to it, right? So those papers that I gave you were created with the intention of appreciating your ancestors. So if you are someone who's trying to reconnect, then figure out who you are or where you come from, they're good for that. So yeah, it's figuring out ways to put magic into your cannabis, routine. Yeah. I mean, honestly, okay, from the way that you turn your grinder, right? There's little things that you can do to put intention into every step.
I'm listening.
Yeah. So it's if you're trying to attract something to your life, right? Turn it right. If you're trying to remove something from your life, turn it left. Just little things like that. If there's something that you want out of life, write it on the paper. You know what I'm saying? You can literally put intention into everything that you do. And for some people, when I say that, they're like, what do you mean? And for some people, it makes a light bulb go off. And so, yeah, I teach classes and sometimes on my show, we'll talk about it. I don't know. cannabis is one of those things that like it's really hard for a lot of us who have like a very difficult relationship with it because like I'm Mexican American, so it was really hard when I was like first starting to smoke because there was a lot of judgment. There was a lot of judgment, and it's wild because like so many of my family members drink, but they were like, "Ay, la marihuanera, la drogadicta," you know, like I'm like, "Oh, I'm a drug addict. I'm a, you know, I smoke a lot of weed," like, and it's wild because I'm like, it just mellows me out. It just makes me much more pleasant to be around. There's times where my mom's like, maybe go smoke a little bit, you know? Like,
isn't that amazing how it flips?
Yeah.
You was like getting persecuted for it, and then all of a sudden now, you know, it starts to get, actually, like everybody wants to smoke with you, or they bringing you some type of weed product or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Or it's funny because like in certain career fields, like I would be one of the few people who would smoke and people would be super judgmental about it. And then then it's like, oh, I smoke too. I'm like, oh, so you caught on later. Okay. You were being a hater. Got it. Yeah. And that's what it is. I mean, I feel there's so much misconception and people don't realize that the whole like making it illegal is based out of fucking racism, dude. Like Harry S. Anslinger like was like, I don't like that black people or Mexican people smoke weed and they're happy or they feel whatever, and it's just because of that there was this whole agenda to like punish people who had, and also like the fact that people didn't realize that cannabis and marijuana were the same fucking thing. It was just changing a word, and people were like, oh no, I'm terrified, you know, like it's just, but that's what I'm realizing is like the government has always had the power to do, like people have, you know, the mass majority of people are, for lack of a better term, ignorant. They are unaware of things. And so propaganda really, really manipulates them.
Facts.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are just influenced by just whatever they see. They don't do the extra research to even find out, like,
for sure,
what's behind it. I totally agree.
So are you thinking a whole lot more about like your ritual and all the things that you do now?
Yeah, I fucked up and I went left. I was like,
damn. Well, we'll remove toxicity from our life. There we go.
I was like, damn, I'm already messing up.
You fucked it up.
Literally, I was like, yo. It's nice. It grinded up real good.
That's good.
Nice and soft.
Tell your pops. Oh my god. Tell your pops A+ so far.
Hell yeah. See over there looking stressed.
Yeah. It's got a lot to live up to now.
I'm hyped. And this was outdoor, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think those were outdoor.
You love that.
I think he grew up in the same bed as like his tomato plants or whatever.
You love that.
It's very Jeffco.
Don't be playing your dad like that. Oh man, yeah. So it's been a minute since we seen you. How you been?
Been hanging in there.
Been a minute. Just thought about that. He always does that. He's always so vague. Yeah. He's
a man of mystery.
It's been one thing after another medical problem, so that's been fun.
That's a fact.
I relate to that actually.
It's always on Wednesdays too.
Damn.
Chop my finger off on a Wednesday.
Yup.
So that's funny. I
see how he goes through this.
Lacerated my hand. Okay, first of all, I know that I will survive the zombie apocalypse because I cut my hand with a beer bottle. And I was in the middle of cooking a roux. And all I've done, also, I've probably been through some shit because I took the roux off the heat and put it over there. And then just, like, fixed my hand with super glue. Because it was just, like, gushing blood. And I was just, like, clean it. And then people were horrified. But it worked. It worked. My doctor, like, I had a doctor's appointment, like, a couple of days later. And she's like, just keep an eye on it.
Yeah, you
like,
got a whole scar.
Yeah, I got a scar. But honestly, like, it turned out pretty chill. It could have been worse.
That looks hella intense, though.
And that's on the U.S. healthcare system.
That's right. Charge it to the game. Okay. So, now, describe more to us about your podcast.
Yeah. So, my podcast, Too T3rpd Bruja, we talk about, like, shadow work. We talk about magic. We talk about like how to use cannabis to become a better person, to do some of that inner healing. Every episode's different. Like, we have people who either consider themselves like magic practitioners of some sort, or people who work in some type of like ghost related field, paranormal. Sometimes it's just like people I really like who I think are dope and people should know about, but they're all different. It's funny because like my biggest criticism that I get, they're like, you don't really follow a normal like pattern. I'm like, no, I just create, like, I create the way that I like throw spaghetti at a wall and I just use what sticks. And I mean, honestly, people like it. I've been very impressed. You know, I cry sometimes on my podcast. I was recognized in People in Espanol. Like, that was dope. Like, sometimes you don't think that anybody is paying, thank you. Sometimes you don't think that anybody is paying attention to what you're doing. And then you're like, holy shit, so many people like are watching and paying attention. And that's great, you know?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. So who's been your favorite guest so far?
I've had two people that, I mean, I really enjoy every episode, but I've really enjoyed Marcella Kroll. Is amazing. She is the creator of my Oracle deck and my tarot deck that I keep like.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah. So like talking to her was really cool. She's a really cool lady. She was like doing a bunch of witchy stuff. I feel like before there was this influx of people that she's been doing it since the 80s. She talks about like going to little occult shops in like the middle of nowhere and finding like dusty books and you know, sort of like she is just a really cool person. Definitely check out her podcast. It's called Saved by the Spell. In addition to that, I really enjoyed, there's a woman who goes by @the Death Witch. Her name is Loretta Ledesma, and she's really cool. She works at Ritual Craft in Denver. I have been able to teach classes there because of her, because she runs the school. And I don't know, there have been so many. I got to interview my mom. That was cool. I keep telling my dad, like, we're going to do this. And he's like, no, we're not. Hay que dejarlo aquí, which means let's just leave it here. And I'm like, no, Dad, like, you're going to be a guest too. My cousin was a good one. He works in technology, and he was one of the people behind the Simpson World app before it just went onto Hulu for streaming. So honestly, I feel like there's something from each episode that I've done that I've just really enjoyed. So
That's what's up.
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of people I'd love to interview that one day I'm like, I'm going to finagle them. I'm going to convince them. We'll see.
Give me the top 3.
I'd love to interview Yoko Ono, because I feel like everyone loves to blame her for like breaking up the Beatles, but I want to get what was the pillow tech with like John? Like what was he telling you all the tea? Like, was he bitching about his bandmates and stuff? And like, we don't get that side of it. Right. So she's up there. I would really love to interview Kimberly Crenshaw, I believe, the woman who came up with the theory of intersectionality, because I feel like that is a concept that not everyone is aware of, but I feel like is very defying of like the different violences and oppression and whatever that we experience in life. So that would be a powerful episode.
What is that, if you don't know?
Yeah, so intersectionality is basically the idea that like you see different levels of violence based on like where you are. So like you are a black man,
right,
but you are cis. So since you're not like a queer person or whatever, you're not going to necessarily see that level of it. And, you know, like, it's like, what's your socioeconomic status? Like, you know, so it's all these things that kind of factor into like what you see and how violence impacts you. Right. Yeah. So I'd really like to talk about that, because I feel like there are things that we need to discuss, because like, this is a hard thing to discuss, but like in some ways, white women and black men are one tier away from being like at the top, right? So for black men, it's race. Right. For women, for white women, it's sex. So because of that, like there are certain things that they are just blissfully unaware of, you know, but there's also levels that they see that some of us don't. So it's all of these different factors, right? Like, I don't know. So yeah, that really kind of got me thinking, because like I'm a Mexican woman, but I'm very light skinned. So I also, you know, there's certain levels of violence that don't impact me that impact other people. And, you know, because of that, we're not always consciously aware of the shit that like other people deal with or experience or whatnot.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That just makes perfect.
So that was 2, I think. So 3, Donald Glover. Yeah. I'd be like, I ran up a mountain for you, man.
That'd be hard as fuck.
Dude, I am really, I love him. He is so creative. Like, I haven't finished Atlanta, but I've seen like bits and pieces, and I really like that. And from like being on Community, his music, like I feel like he's probably like in the same way as Andre 3000. He could pick up a flute or, you know, a didgeridoo or whatever, and he would make really cool shit.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's definitely multi-talented. He's a true entertainer. Mm-hmm. True entertainer.
For sure.
Hell yeah. Oh, you mind passing that lighter?
Yeah.
And see what Papa T working with real quick. Y'all heard that lighter flick.
That,
you know what
yeah.
time it is. Time to get litty.
What do you rate it?
Smooth.
Okay.
Got a little bit of a taste.
I like how you're over there, like, very much like a... So what's the final verdict?
It's actually really smooth.
I'll have to give him a call after this.
Hell yeah.
I think he's got enough bush lights in him. He might be talkative.
I'm dead. Why you gotta do your daddy like that?
Tyler does everybody like that.
You know what? I appreciate the honesty. What's your zodiac? Are you an Aquarius?
No, kind of close. Not really.
What are you?
Pisces. Or double Pisces Sag.
So you got a lot of feelings that you probably maybe drown in a little bit.
Yeah. No, I'm good for now.
Okay.
I'd be biased.
That's fair. It is very smooth.
It's good.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 3.
Out of 5?
Yeah.
I give it a 3.5.
3.5.
Yeah, because that was made with love.
I agree. I like it. Definitely like it.
It helps it was Hypo's genetics, too.
Is it really?
I think so, yeah. I think those are the seeds he brought over.
Ah. Yeah, I like what Pop working with.
I've been trying to introduce them both. They live, like, not even that far away.
Seriously?
Yeah.
We still got to make it out to Hypo's house.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Oh, yeah, this it.
Yeah.
I'm definitely bringing this out with me.
Proud son moment.
Yeah, you'd be like, yeah, Dad. Homie smoke your weed. Hell yeah.
Love that.
Oh, shit. It's about to be a vibe now. All right.
It's been a vibe.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. Eating, smoking,
You
drinking.
gotta try one of those cookies. I'm actually more content with them than I thought.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, okay, I made the puree. I made the pumpkin puree because I'm a very big, like, try to use as much as you can kind of person. So, like, with the pumpkins that I carved for Halloween, I saved all the guts and stuff and then made a puree with it and then I'd frozen it. And I think because I froze it, like, it just didn't turn out exactly as thick as I wanted it to. But I'm still content with them.
That makes sense.
The texture to a traditional gooey butter cookie is a little bit off. And we talked about this because once I warmed it up to infuse it and then it cooled back down, I couldn't get it at the right temperature.
No, I'm glad it's soft.
Yeah,
I like soft cookies.
Yeah, they are indeed soft. I feel like it's not even in the same ballpark as like a gooey butter if it's not soft. Thoughts?
That is good.
Okay, cool. I feel like sometimes I'm like my mom in the sense that I'm like, I just want people to tell me my cooking's delicious. Even if it's like not conscious.
Nah, I fuck with cookies like this. I
All
like
right,
soft
cool.
cookies.
Yeah, good. That's the only thing that does not have red hot riblets in it.
I don't know if I've been a fan of that. I ain't gonna lie.
I think you're onto something. No savory cookie. With
You know
cookies?
what though? Like a lemon cookie maybe with a glaze and a little bit of red hot riplet seasoning on top. I think that would be good.
Called a margarita cookie.
Yeah.
Ooh, you do like key lime mix.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna try that.
Called the Donnie. I need a little bit of need a little bit of credit for that. You ain't gotta pay me, but throw my name in there. So
Well, you know what? We'll see what happens, and I will make sure you get some coin for sure.
that's hard.
You know what? I feel like that's what my life is all about, though, is like I'm trying to get famous so I can bring up all the homies with me. Because this is something I wanted to talk to you about because you, in an episode, said you loved Entourage.
Yes.
Did you know that the whole like concept of Entourage came from Leonardo DiCaprio? He used to have an entourage that he called the Pussy Posse. And it was like him and a bunch of other people. And one of the guy who played, I think Kevin.
Yeah.
I think he was part of it, but
I think you're right.
I think I had
heard that part.
Kevin Connolly or whatever. But so and apparently at one point they beat up. What was the name of the actress? I'm blanking right now. But they like beat up her boyfriend. They're like, "Where are you at?" And then they like beat up her boyfriend, and they were just running amok. And nobody ever talks about. Nobody knows about the Pussy Posse. Like, how does nobody know?
That's hard as fuck.
But also they were like degenerates.
Tobey Maguire, wasn't it?
Yeah. Okay, you're looking it up now? Yeah, like they are still homies. Like he just had his birthday not that long ago and he was there. Also, a lot of people I didn't expect to be there, and I also expected more people to be there. I don't know. I'm bummed because I had the biggest crush on Leonardo DiCaprio. Like I was like, we're gonna be together. But I'm like, I think you're a creep. You're a weird dancing dad creep.
I was gonna say, don't take it wrong, but I think you aged out.
Yeah. No, I totally aged out. So I'm just like, yikes.
It's not a bad thing, though.
It's okay. Yeah, I'm not mad that a man doesn't want to be with me to manipulate me.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, Leo. That's kind of a little wild. That's only 25.
I love that people pointed it out so hard that he dated what was her name? Bella Hadid, who's like 26. It's like, whoa, what are you doing dating a 26-year-old? You know what? So the bar is in fucking hell for men because everyone. Okay, first of all, Keanu Reeves does seem really dope. So don't get me wrong, but like everyone's like, he's dating a woman that's age appropriate, and I'm like, we're cheering that on. But I guess that's true. I've seen so many like screenshots of women talking to men where men sometimes are like, and you're 35 and no one wants you. And I'm like, whoa, sir, like, let's unpack that because you have some baggage. Like, what is going on?
But aren't you trying to talk to her? That's why you're mad right now?
It's the older equivalent of like, well, you're fat anyway. You're ugly anyway. Because if I had $1 for every time. You know what's funny? One time I went to a party at Mizzou. Did you ever go to Mizzou and go like tailgating?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So I never tailgated,
Okay.
just always partied at the nighttime.
Okay, fair. So we went to homecoming once and we were like tailgating or whatever. And I was drinking and it's funny, this guy like slammed my drink out of my hand. I was like, what the fuck? Because he had asked me if I had a Four Loko. I'm like, no, I have and I proceeded and he was like, not good enough. And he dropped it out of my hand. And I just remember, like, party foul, dude. But this guy was just like, so we gonna make out now? And I'm like, no, we are not gonna make out. Are you for real? I'm sorry, that was so loud. But I was like, we are not gonna make out. And he's like, lady, I could have loved you.
Whoa.
Somebody wasn't in his life that needed to be there.
Oh my god, my friend and this is the most hilarious. I always have weird shit like that happen to me.
But that does sound like Mizzou, though.
Yeah.
And his friend was just like, take my drink, I'm so sorry. I'm like, did you roofie me? And he's like, no, I just need this to go away and everyone stop being mad. And everyone to stop being mad.
That is definitely Mizzou.
Yeah.
Oh man, my college days. What a fun time. The best of times and the worst of times.
Yo, I had some wild times in Mizzou. I was there so much they thought I went there.
Oh my god.
I used to be lit up in there.
Okay, I could not. I could never. I went to a journalism party and it was the worst. Okay, this is something I wanted to talk to you about because you're always like, oh, I wish I would have done radio. Oh, no, you don't. No, you don't. Because let me tell you, man, like radio kids were mean. They were mean because it was like a small group of us and we were all just like competing for the same jobs. Like I remember when I got my first job, I was 21 and it was like my teacher emailed all of us and was like, hey, if you're interested in a job, and I'm just like jumping on it, right? Like I'm like, so I applied and I got like an audition and my boss back then was such a dick. So he was like, you sound like a phone sex operator. But I still got the job, bitch. So what you mean? Anyway, but yeah, so I did that for a while, and it's just like that feeling that like, oh, well, why was it you? And I'm like, I don't know, because I'm like talented and shit. I'm funny, you know, like you know, and it's hard because like we talked about this when we were out the other night. Like there's this weird, you have to be very confident in what you do and know that you're putting out like something valuable. Yeah. But then you also have to have like a humbleness to you, because like if you aren't humble, like people are just like, they just think they know everything or whatever, and they're not open to growth. And I'm like, we could just like talk about it. Like, you know, I don't know. And I feel like that's the weirdest thing about like being in communications is like people don't always know how to talk to each other. And it's like, this is what you do for a living. You literally talk into a microphone. Like, how do you not know how to talk to other people?
Because that's the point. They talking to a mic. That's not a real thing.
That's true. It's not a real person. So they have no experience necessarily, you know, talking to. Oh my God. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I don't think you would have enjoyed it. Like, and I think maybe it was also because like I was one of the marginalized people who was like doing well. And so it was and I went to school with a lot of white people. So I feel like there was that attitude of like, well, she's probably meeting a quota, you know? And I one time in front of a whole group of our classmates, because my job was so fucking abusive, dude. It was so fucking abusive. And I quit. I quit without like having, like a parachute or a net. I was just like, you know what? If I don't find another job, fuck it. And it just worked out because the point like fell into my lap. But before I knew about that, this guy in front of my whole class was like, you know what, Becky? Because I used to go by Becky. You know what, Becky? I'm so proud of you. You straight up quit your job without a backup. That is so brave in front of everyone. And I'm like, okay, so we're not going to talk about my mental health. We're not going to talk about the fact that I'm having a lot of shit said to me and I have to take it. And okay. And it's funny because he works for media now here in St. Louis. And I'm just like, I hope you remember that. And I hope you feel bad, you fucking dick. I don't know. So I'm like, so I'm just like, so I don't think you would have enjoyed it, is what I'm saying. Because you're so nice.
I think you're right.
You are so nice. No, I mean, listen, you don't get a whole flock of 30 people just like, where's Donovan? Like if you don't have something dope about you. And you radiate a good energy, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm nice, but at the same time too, don't take that as a never mind. Yeah, I'm nice.
Do not. Sure. Well, yeah, don't misinterpret our kindness for weakness.
Word.
We are kind, but we will fucking like, because that's how I feel like when you work in media, you have to be able to like also like have very strong boundaries. Because some people, if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. That part. And I feel like there's a lot of times where people have like tried to manipulate me because I am like, I don't know. I don't want to say talented because maybe that's tooting my own horn. But
no, you are.
Thank you. And so are you. I hope you know that. But like, I love to create things, whether it's a fucking menu of just weed infused things. I taught a cannabis magic class, but like I taught a Y2K witch class because we were talking about like how the year 98 has been like really heavy on my mind. And the Y2K era is considered from like 97 to 2004. Isn't that wild that 2000, it's like the Y2K, which is just the year 2000, but it's like the things before and after that. Right. But anyway, but yeah, so I just love being able to like grow and evolve and create things and collaborating with people. And so like, I'm really glad that you had me like come and do this. Like, hell yeah. This has been so much fun.
Yeah, you good peoples. I gotta come on your show.
You have to. I'm excited for that. So we will figure out all the logistics.
Most definitely.
Yeah. I feel like because the reason we had to, you mostly do stuff in person. Yeah. Yeah.
That's like really, honestly, that's the only way I want to do it.
That's fair. I mean, it's a totally different energy. Yeah. But I don't know, the convenience, and especially like if you want to potentially interview people, you can't always do it in person because that's the thing with St. Louis is like a lot of bands don't come through here. A lot of musicians.
I want to change that.
And I hope you do. Yeah. And I hope you do because like I love music. Like I will go to another city, country to go to a concert, you know? Yeah. Like I love concerts. Live music is such a great experience and it sucks that people in St. Louis are robbed of that.
I feel like, you know, it's a lot that has to do with just the city in general. But I feel like we're starting to make a conscious effort to really have a creative scene now. Yeah. Like, I know we had one before. We had Nelly. We know, of course, Chuck Berry back in the day. We had a blues scene and all these other things. But I kind of feel like now we're having like a renaissance. Like, there's so many things going on right now that like it's starting to come to the forefront.
There's also things that are leaving, though, because I got to work Fan Expo a few years ago, which, by the way, if you ever get the chance, please do. Like, you get paid to, like, you know, and it's, like, one of those things, you're not going to get paid a lot. But personally, you're still making some money, and you get to hang out behind the scenes. I got to take photos for Charles Martinet, who is the voice of Mario.
Really?
He recorded, like, a birthday greeting for my sister because, like, he was like, do you want a photo? Like, do you want a signed autograph? I was like, would you please do this? Because I work in audio. And I could tell that he maybe didn't want to, but shout out to you. Thank you. Because, like, audio is my love language. And so that was so cool. Because, like, what do you give somebody who can, like, buy anything they want for themselves?
Hell yeah.
You get them something they can't.
Yeah, they can't buy.
Yeah. So, like, that was cool.
hard.
Yeah.
That's hard.
So I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like I'm so grateful because I don't know about you, but like my dad talks about all these jobs that he had. He had so many jobs. And because of that, I always was like, you know what? You are going to work where you work.
Yep.
And you're going to do what you do.
Yep.
And if you don't, and I don't know, I stayed in media jobs way longer than I should have, even though they were like bad for my mental health or like, you know, just like abusive or whatever. But like other jobs, like I would just leave,
right?
Because I'm like, this doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you know, but the audio jobs matter.
Yeah, because that's what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I definitely like that. That's how I be feeling about, you know, doing podcasting and starting to go into entertainment. You know, doing improv, starting to do stand up, trying to start writing and stuff like that. So.
Dude, I'd love to do stand-up. I'd love to do it in Spanish.
Yeah?
Because I feel like there's a lot of things that I would like to say that maybe in English are going to, like, sound a lot more harsh. And I feel like I want to be able to make criticism. And there's also something about Spanish because it's so layered. Like, you can say so much saying so little. Like, there's this phrase that I love that's like, quítate tu disfraz de víctima porque no te queda. And it literally translates to take off your victim costume because it doesn't fit you. But what you're saying is like, don't act like the victim, like it's not very becoming of you. Like it doesn't fit with who you are. But you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many things that you can just say and they just like there's a drag queen named Milinda Verga. And so if you don't know what that means, it's my beautiful cock. And I'm just like, that is so funny. That's a perfect drag name. Like, oh my God, that's funny as fuck, you know? And there's just certain things that, I don't know. I was talking to my sister about that. You're still dying.
Good. Hey, hey, that's hilarious.
Isn't that hilarious? My friend, like, I'm starting to get more into drag stuff. Have you been to a drag show before?
I have not.
You should go. We have to go before I leave. That's on my bucket list of like St. Louis things before I like GTFO again. Mm-hmm. We'll go to a drag show because it's fun. It's just like you see someone perform and sing and dance and they're dressed up. I saw one where someone was dressed as Mrs. Lovett and they did a drag performance of Sweeney Todd. And I was like, this is dope.
Is it a safe space?
Yes.
I don't even know what Sweeney. Well, I've heard of Sweeney Todd, but I don't know.
It's a musical.
Okay.
It's about a barber who murders people. Yeah. The musical, I enjoyed the Tim Burton movie. It's fine. I don't really watch his stuff anymore. It's funny if you've ever seen the Kevin Smith movie Jersey Girl. They do a rendition of it. It's cute. It's, you know what, people say that movie's the worst, and I'm like, it's a cute movie about a little girl and her dad who have each other, and her mom died. Like, it's cute.
You really like musicals, huh?
I like musicals, but I also like feel good movies. You know, like I don't know. You know what? I'm so doom and gloom and goth, and I just, sometimes, but I'm also like I like flowers. And I like cute musicals and the Powerpuff Girls. And, you know, I'm still very much 8 years old in some ways. I love cartoons. I love cartoons and things. I don't know. I'm very in touch with my inner child. I feel like I have to be. That's what keeps all the art coming out.
I feel like, I don't know. I was like an adult as a child, so.
Me too. Me too. I was the oldest of three sisters, and my parents are immigrants, so I was always like I was parentified, you know. I had to like translate and do all these things. So I feel like now I'm allowing myself that because I'm an adult. I have disposable income. I don't have kids, so I'm like, we're gonna let that inner 8-year-old like run the show sometimes. So she does.
That's hard.
Thank you. It's funny. I wanted to show you because I created a tarot deck.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, well, I co-created. I can't take all the credit. My friend Sam is the one who did all the art, and they have They have a condition called synesthesia, but they also have another condition called face blindness. And so they cannot, like, if they were to see you, they would not remember your face.
Really?
Like, there's something about their brain that, like, doesn't. So this project was a way of, like, I might not be able to remember your face, but if I'm drawing your eye for, like, 3 hours, I'm going to remember what your eye looks like. I'm going to remember what your nose looks like. But, yeah.
Can you do a quick reading?
Yeah.
Hell
Yeah. Okay. Like, I actually haven't used this deck in a long time because, like I said, I usually use the Marcella Kroll one. So I'm just going to shuffle. You're going to breathe in and out as deep as you can. Keep focusing on your breathing. And whenever you're ready, you're going to tell me to stop. Well, that one for sure. Okay.
Stop.
Okay. Okay. So we start with the Three of Swords. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe there are things that you're realized or having like thoughts of like, I wish I would have done that, or I wish I would have done that sooner. And maybe you're living in regret sometimes of the things you didn't do. Don't do that, because you have to remember that you are creating and you're doing it on your own terms. And there's something way better about that because you logically got there. There are so many people who never start to create. They always think, well, what if this and what if this? And they have no way of like letting the idea come out. So you need to remind yourself that like, if you become all woe is me, like you miss the opportunities that are right in front of you because you're living in the past. So live in the present, maybe even look to the future a little bit to see what's coming. And then we have the Sun card reversed. And it's interesting because where this one is part of the minor arcana, this is part of the major arcana. So this is more tied to like life lessons and things that you need to like learn. And it's funny because this one's saying that you need to let your inner child out too. Because here's the thing. The inner child, when you let them run the show a little bit, they do give you more things to like create. You remember things that you love. Like Red Hot Riplets. I remember the first time I tried them, I think I was like 9. And it's because one of my friends like had it in her lunchbox. And it wasn't like something that I was like used to, right? So it's like that lunchtime experience, like I got to try them. And so yeah, think about yourself, think about 8-year-old you and ways in which maybe you are doing things that make that kid happy, but think about the ways that they maybe were sad and you could like figure out ways to heal that now and like do the things you couldn't do.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I got for you.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. It
was so funny. You were talking about how like tarot cards, some people, because people think tarot cards are scary. And I'm just like, I don't know, like it's a mirror of self. It's like, do you want to hear things about yourself? And there's so many different types of readers. There are people who are literal fortune tellers. I'm just going to tell you about yourself a little bit.
I like that. I ain't mad at it. I ain't never afraid.
Don't live with fear. Fear is limiting.
Yep. Yeah. I definitely like to be told about like I don't mind like hearing criticism.
I'm becoming better at it. I feel like for a long time I felt like criticism was an attack, and now I'm just like, no, it's just they're bringing something to me because they care about me. I'm also being better about like, I don't know if this is something that maybe you struggle to, but sometimes I used to feel like everything needed a solution in the minute or in the moment. No. Yeah, I don't know. Do you subscribe to astrology? Are you an astrology girly?
A little bit.
Yeah. So I have mostly fire in my chart. And it makes sense, and I think because I have this sense of urgency all of the time. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think that's sort of why I want to move to Mexico, because I'm like, time runs differently, dude. Like, the sense of urgency is an American thing, and it comes from white supremacy. And it's this sense that we have to, like, if we're not being productive, we are not valuable, or we're wasting time or whatever. But, like, as a creative person, you feel guilt sometimes because like when you're creating something you love and maybe you're not making money, or you were at one time and now you're not, like it's sort of just like, well, is this still valuable? Is this whatever? I don't know. And have you noticed that like millennials, we all turn our hobbies into ways of making money?
Yeah, because we've been taught about careers. And so like, you know, I feel like the people before us, they were just taught to work, and you know, you just learn how to find happiness in other places. But we were privileged, and like we're privy enough to understand that like 9 times out of 10, you're gonna die working. Like, I think a lot of the people before us were able to retire, and that's one of the things that a lot of our parents, they kind of like, that's kind of the unfortunately of their downfall, is that a lot of them won't be able to retire.
Yeah.
And so they're stuck with jobs that they hate. And so that's kind of one of the things that inspired me, was like, yo, if I'm going to end up working the rest of my life, it's got to be something that doesn't feel like work or that I could love doing.
Yeah. I think that's true. Yeah. And we take a lot more risks. Because I don't know, like, it was weird when I was building my career in radio. I had so many naysayers that were just like, yeah, and eventually we stopped chasing our dreams. I'm like, maybe you stopped chasing your dream, baby, but like, I'm chasing that dream every day. Like, and it's funny because like, I don't know. I just, like I said, I'm really good at figuring things out. That's what sort of like, from losing my job at the point and like having the worst thing I felt happen to me to like now I've been able to like realize, I'm like, but bitch, like, you've taught classes in like Denver, you've, you know, like taught classes here locally about cannabis, like you got a machine and like have a partnership with this company, Leva Oil, by the way. I will give you the coupon code later. But like, I don't know, like, do you ever feel, maybe this is just me, do you run on spite a little bit?
Yes.
Yes. I run on spite, and honestly, spite is my love language, because like sometimes it's like, no, I would love for you to tell me that I can't. I would love for that, you know? And I don't know, I feel like people underestimate me, and I'm just like, okay, all right.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's powered this whole podcast.
I love that for us.
That's probably powered my whole life. Is motherfuckers telling me, yeah, you can't do this shit. It's like, word.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like some type of sick thing that I got. It's kind of like, I kind of prefer you to talk shit to me.
Yeah.
Kind of gets me going.
That's funny. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's funny too, because working in radio, you have to navigate a lot of egos. And I feel like that was always really challenging too, because I felt like people didn't want me to succeed.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like I was set up to succeed, and that was a bummer. But like, I don't know. It's like, we met the other day, and I was like, hey, if you're looking to interview like musicians, you should contact this person. Like, I love being able to share knowledge, and like, I don't gatekeep shit. Like, because what's the point?
Exactly.
Like, I'm trying to stop you from doing dope ass shit. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe I just don't get people, but I'm genuinely rooting for the people around me.
Exactly. I feel like you have to do that. That's the only way you can grow, is that the people around you grow.
Yeah. Yeah, because like, why do you want to be surrounded by people who are just stuck?
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with being stuck if that's where you want to be, right? Like, there's a difference, because like, I do this is enough for me, I'm happy, that's dope. But there's people who don't want to leave because they're just like, I don't know what's out there and the world is scary, and they hate it, and it's just, and they're, I can deal with people doing that and they're just like, whatever. But when they are mean and bitter and spiteful, it's like, can you like figure out your life, because you're just making it a problem for everyone else?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. So do what you want, guys. Be a little afraid and like pursue your dreams so you're not a miserable fuck. Like,
I mean, honestly, for real.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to.
Yeah. I don't know. I will say, like, I have no patience for ignorance. Like, we have the internet at our fingertips, you know? Like, you not wanting to know is terrible. Like, why?
So like, I have a little pushback on that, because a lot of people, the access is there, but the information to even understand it or how to utilize it isn't always necessarily there. Most of the time, it's actually not there.
That's fair. And you know what? That's something that I do need to remember, because I'm very left leaning, and I feel like everyone should just be able to have basic things. People should be compensated for their labor. Why do people consider me an extremist for that, right? But it's like, realistically, we work and our bodies, you know, wear down, and it's like, we should be compensated properly for that, because there's no guarantee. Like, I don't know if I told you this, but the reason I went to Mexico was because I had a teratoma that developed, which is like a germ tumor. Like, they're super rare. And so the fact that it happened, like, I'm 33 now. I had it when I was 32, but I was just like, this is wild. You know, there is no guarantee for our health, and we forget that, you know, and especially like with COVID and all of these like different autoimmune things that we are becoming aware of that are impacting our generation more than like past, or at least maybe we're aware of it now. I don't know, but like it's just so wild that we get mad at people for wanting more pay and knowing their worth. Like that's so wild to me. It's like we should just be grateful gaining peanuts.
Yeah.
Ugh, I don't know. But someone once told me that like my problem is like I expect everyone to choose steak and with different ideas and thoughts and stuff like that. And I have to remember that like some people have to start, you know, with like baby food and like work their way up. Shout out to Mr. Covington. He used to be the CEO of Matthew Dickey Boys and Girls Club, and he taught me a lot. Yeah, so I do also have to like sometimes humble myself, and it's like, listen, you have a lot of lived experience, but there's tons of stuff that you also don't know. And I'm like, you right. So.
Oh yeah, there's like always different sides of the fences, you know.
Yeah, there are. And I have to remember that, like, I mean, a lot of people, like, they're just not aware, right? Because, like, realistically, if you are a straight, cis, white man, there's not a whole lot of things that, like, might impact you. Whereas, like, I'm Mexican, and, like, having to watch my mom be harassed for, like, speaking mostly Spanish, or, like, seeing the way that people have treated her bad for, she's, like, more, like... the term would be morena, so she's like darker skinned, and so like she looks more indigenous, and so seeing the way people treat her compared to like me or my sisters is like wild. You know, like, so it's I just, the world doesn't make sense to me sometimes. I'm like, why can't we just like be nice? Like, why is there all this internalized racism that we aren't aware of sometimes, you know? And not everyone's doing the work to like undo that, unpack that, and because they don't even know that it's there. That's that part.
It's just, it is what it is, and that's all that they know. So,
oh my god, yeah, but like, I don't know. I'm a Gemini moon, so I'm always thinking, and I'm trying to gain perspective outside of my own. Like, I'm not trying to do this human experience again. Like, like I'm not trying to reincarnate on Earth if that's a thing, you know. Like, no, one and done. I'm not coming back.
See, I feel like you do. I do believe in reincarnation.
I think so too. Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to come back. Maybe as a really spoiled house cat. That would be dope.
Honestly, I said that's my that is my my next life is to be a white person's dog.
You will be the most spoiled.
A rich white person's dog.
Yeah. I used to be a dog walker. People would treat you nice.
I'm telling you, they be treating them better than they treat their kids.
Yeah. I saw it. You are correct.
Dogs be going first class seats. Kids be at home.
It's like, why did Muffy get to go to England? It's like, because Muffy returns my calls. When I'm like, Muffy,
she's right there.
She's right there. You never answer the phone. Call your parents, y'all, and your grandparents, especially your grandparents. If not, someone's gonna scam them.
Happy Thanksgiving. No, for real though. Y'all do need to call your moms and your grandmas. That's real shit.
That's real shit.
Oh
my god,
this is lit. Okay, for real though. Top 5 dead or alive smoking. Smoke session. My fault.
Okay. Okay. Fred Hampton. Emiliano Zapata. Frida Kahlo. Rasputin. And Kimberly Crenshaw.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. That
You? I mean, I'm sure you've said it before, but has it changed?
Oh, always.
Okay.
Yeah, I always got a different one. Let's
Okay.
see. Okay. I'm trying to think. I'm gonna try to do people that I've never smoked with.
Okay.
That I want to smoke with.
Do it.
Okay. My homie Gino. My homie Nibs. My dad. My grandpa. That'd be lit.
You never smoked with your pops?
No.
What?
He's like,
No.
he don't drink, he don't smoke.
Good for him. He's just raw dog in life. No, like, you know, just I'm not gonna have any type of vice.
Oh man, I had a joke, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna chill. Sometimes he be listening to this, so I'll go ahead and let it go.
Sobriety is not for me right now.
It's not for anybody, but you know,
That's fair.
I'll keep my mouth shut. Let's see. Who would be the last one? We'll throw Drake in there.
All right. I hate that I love Drake.
I saw a look on her face. She's like,
Like today, I was at work and Nonstop came on, and I was like, "Fuck, I love this song."
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
hey man, he that guy. Now I'm not gonna lie. For all the dogs, it was pretty whack. But then he came back with that extended version, the deluxe version.
Yeah, but now
Cleaned it up.
Okay, so like Meek Mill really like told him who he was and called his shit out, and now because of that, I feel like he only goes after like black women, and I don't like that.
Like, you mean like with beefing and like
Yeah,
talking shit?
yeah. And I'm just like, why?
Yeah, he wasn't
why
like
did
that.
Mac Mill just like really call your shit out and embarrass you in front of everybody? Because that's what he did. Also, I've been fucking with Drake though since like the Degrassi days.
Same.
Did you watch Degrassi?
Fuck yeah.
Okay. Oh my gosh, I loved fucking Degrassi. Okay, which one was your favorite? Degrassi, The OC, or Skins?
I only watched
Wild-
Degrassi.
Oh, you haven't seen the other two?
Nah.
They're just wild teen shows from that time.
Skins is definitely top tier.
Yeah.
Yes, the
version.
soundtrack. Yeah.
I went back to One Tree Hill though.
I didn't watch that one, but that one had a good music variety too. The OC was good because like the music that it had was because indie rock revival. I talked about it earlier. So Josh Schwartz, who is like the showrunner, was younger, and I think at the time he was like the youngest one, and so he was like, let's feature all of this amazing music. So it was cool because like the OC came out when I was like 13, so 2003, and so I was getting introduced to just a bunch of stuff that was not on the radio.
I think I was watching The Game around that time.
I'm not familiar.
It was like on BET.
Okay.
I was watching a couple of those things. I used to watch The Real World all the time.
I watched that.
Of course, Jersey Shore.
I never got into that one. I was very judgmental of that one. I actually remember one of my bosses being like, "You're a hater." And I'm like, maybe, but I just don't fuck with it. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I was never into Jersey Shore.
I don't know about that, but Jersey Shore was pretty lit. I ain't gonna lie.
It's funny. I never watched Survivor, but one of my podcast clients was a contestant on Survivor.
Whoa.
Twice. Yeah. Her name is Francesca Hoagie. She was voted off first twice. She actually, yes, she makes a whole thing about it. Like she, and I was like, I see, like I one day watched an episode that she was on. I was like, I see why.
Damn.
She's one of those reals. She does not play the game either. Like, so shout out. Real C's real. I love her.
That's why you said that. I was like, God damn, you just shooting shots all over the place. I'm like, whoa.
No, I love Franny. She was the one who I had on my last podcast episode.
Ah.
Yeah.
Wait, she was on Survivor?
Twice. She did a TED Talk, dude. She's so cool.
Okay, now I see why you said that. I
Yeah.
can totally see why she didn't. Yeah, you're right. I can't see why she got out first.
Yeah, but like she lives in her truth, man. She is a love coach. Like she used to be a matchmaker, and I was like, that's dope, dude. I don't know, like she's just a cool fucking lady, dude.
See, now I think of matchmakers, I think of like some pimp shit. See?
I don't know. I wouldn't have thought of that, but like I could see why you'd think that.
Yeah, like she a player or something like that. She's like, oh, I got all these homies, you know. I just got game like that. You know
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
I guess you would kind of have to like be like that to be like, oh, meet this person. You might be great for each other. I don't know, but it'd also probably just be a lot of networking, going to parties and just meeting a bunch of people, knowing a bunch of people. I don't know.
Yeah, my first thing is gonna be like, you know what? Yeah, y'all just should date. Nah, it's just,
I don't know. I feel like sometimes I've played matchmaker in my life because like I would know somebody who, and then I would like invite to a party and like sort of introduce and be like, oh, you know, I hope they hit it off. I'm good. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I love. And so I did used to play matchmaker a lot more. But now I'm in this place where I'm like, I don't want to get involved. Like if it goes sour, I want nothing to do with it.
all married now, so.
Yeah, so we don't have to worry. You're all set. What about you?
I'm good for now.
Honestly, I feel like is this weird? Like so many people I know got married before their 30s, and I'm like, I feel like I've only really started to know myself as a person now, like in my 30s. So I'm just like, marriage probably would not have worked before this.
Oh, yeah, no, I got married right at 30.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I just got married in May.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. How was the wedding like planning process? Was that a whole thing?
We did a destination and it was still stressful.
Oh my gosh. Honestly, I feel like for me, it's just going to be like, hey guys, show up. I made a dinner. And it's going to be something like this where I make like a shit ton of infused food. And it's like, we're celebrating my love. Let's hope it works out.
That's hard.
I don't know. I love people, but I also feel like I would really only want like 25 people there.
That was literally my whole wedding.
I love that. Okay.
It might have
yeah.
even been less than that.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah, it was like 21 or something, 20.
Like when people have 100 people at their wedding, I never understand. Like, good for you. And I'm Mexican saying that. Like, but I'm just like, I don't want all of them there.
See, we would have did that, but there would have been way too many, and I'm broke. So
yeah. And also weddings are way too expensive for what they are.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was fun. We went to Jamaica. It was amazing.
That sounds dope, dude.
Dope.
Congrats. What a great way to start your love.
Hell yeah. Got to smoke some Jamaican weed. Ja, man. Man, I miss Jamaica, man. We gotta go back.
Yeah.
We gotta go back.
I've never been, but it's on the list.
I would definitely want to do some content there. Like, for real. That's the goal.
I feel like it'd be a beautiful place, yeah, to do something.
Yo. It's been fire, yo.
Yeah. No, this has been such a good time. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
I'm glad we finally, because like you said, it was kind of a whole thing. Like, I was gone, you know, I was like, do you do online recordings? And so the fact that we were able to like do it in person, like this has been so much better than it could have been. I can't mail this to you.
So this is why like I put in the effort to really make like in-person podcasts, because it's like you just that's the only way you can get this type of like environment, this moment, this vibe. Like,
yeah,
I just feel like that's my specialty. That's kind of like that's my niche is doing in person.
Well, no, it makes sense because like that's also why you vibe so well with people and 30 people flock to you at once. No, keep doing this, dude. Like I love this. Like listening to your back catalog has been like such a pleasure. Like you have a way of really like invoking great conversation. So thank you for letting me be part of it.
Come on now. This ain't gonna be the last time either.
No. I plan to we'll come back, we'll do something fun.
Definitely. We gotta do like a we gotta do something with podcasts. There's like a bunch of us podcasters. Honestly,
yeah. That would be fun. I feel like a panel discussion of some sort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. That might need to be the next thing that we do.
A panel?
We could.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. We got a couple of content creators that we know at this point.
Yeah, plus there's a ton, especially cannabis podcasts popping up in St. Louis now.
Yeah.
It's cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've been talking to some people. As a matter of fact, we got to talk about that off air.
Okay.
Yeah, we definitely about to get some shit started.
Yeah, sure, really excited.
Hell yeah.
And even though I won't be here all the time, you know, there is the internet, and if you tell me ahead of time, maybe I can make my way back. You know, we'll plan some cool stuff.
For sure.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Let them know where to find the show and yourself.
Yeah, so you can find me everywhere at Too T3rpd. The podcast is everywhere that you listen to podcasts. If you're interested in these recipes and stuff, I have a Patreon. It's on the link of my show notes. I'm actually hosting a class on, when is this coming out?
Hell, it might come out tomorrow. We'll see.
All right. Well, so if it comes out tomorrow,
it'll definitely be out this week.
Okay. So Saturday, I will be hosting How to Be a Y2K Witch. So if you're interested in that, please hit me up. My website is bexbycasting.com. Yeah, get at me.
Hell yeah. Love it.
And you could find me only on the IG at TBreakT for a limited time.
Hell yeah.
It'll change next week.
Is it going back?
I don't know yet. I'll have to figure it out.
This dude.
I'm doing what I'm told.
Who told you this? Damn! Already?
No.
Already?
No. Maybe a little.
Oh,
no.
Man.
It's COVID brain talking. It's not.
Hey, man.
I get a grace period.
Man. This is deep. We should have did his shit. We should did his shit. But anyway, that'll be for the next episode.
To be continued.
Talk about T's attachment issues.
This guy here, man. Right. You can find Too T3rpd on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Patreon. Make sure you follow us on all the audio platforms. Hit us up on that hotline with the voicemails and text 314-399-9711. And don't forget to follow me, Donovan 2408, on all social media platforms. Bye. Yeah, it's been another dope episode, and we will tune in and see y'all next week. Peace. Oh, damn. Actually, that worked too. Wait. There we go. Yo.
It's Too T3rpd.
It's been there. Another one.